welcome back to the LEC playoffs. Game 5 between Vitality and Fnatic, and the question is, who will make it through to play Misfits next week?
Yeah, it's a tense one. I think that many expected Fnatic to be the clear favorites in this, but that is clearly not the case. Vitality have come prepared, they know what they're confident on, and they're executing upon it well. They're taking us to Game 5. We're going to be jumping into draft for this last game of the weekend. We will find out what will happen next week. Weekend is not a good word to split up into two, but let's do it. Let's get into draft.
The winner goes on to face Misfits next week with a chance to face G2 for a spot at Worlds. The loser, it's holiday time. You're going on vacation, find a beach, go sit somewhere, because for the next 3 months you have nothing to do. Vitality last made Worlds in 2018, where they fought in the group of death with RNG, with C9, and with Gen.G. Fnatic have only missed Worlds once since joining the LEC. In 2016, they didn't make it. Apart from that, 2013, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, they have been there every single time representing Europe. And here, perhaps, they will fall by the wayside in what perhaps is their worst ever season as an organization since joining the LEC. However, I'm saying that a little bit too fast, because if they win this game, they still have a chance to make it up towards the upper echelons.
I mean, even then, like, they finished 5th last split, Medic.
Yeah.
And right now, they can still finish 5th.
So, like, it would be their worst ever season, like their worst ever year of LEC, if they lose out here, in my opinion.
And they're being pushed to the limit already. Vitality pushing them to the brink. Let's see what the priority is. Diana will be removed. Fnatic, of course, is now on the red side. That carry threat from Selfmade has been eliminated. So what champion will they go for? Varus looks like the tastiest option right now. Will they give it to Crownshot?
It's his most played throughout the regular season, but
they're actually going to take the Hylissang for themselves. Bwipo could very likely answer with the Olaf if he wants to, and remember that it is a flex pick that they can go for. But we know that Bwipo has quite a deep champion pool. He is pretty willing to play almost anything. But the Renekton is something that has often been used as a pick right here. Vitality showcase it, they're happy to flex it between mid and top.
Ooh. Instead, Ezreal.
Himself is Ezreal. He is very confident on the champion. Surprised that they would prioritize that so early in the draft. Perhaps Fnatic are just going to change up their composition completely, saying that they're going for a little bit more range, a little bit more disengage. Let's wait and see what direction they will go. Remember that Ezreal into Renekton, they're not going for the Renekton. They're going to leave it up. They're going to sit there and say that that wasn't the problem. They're happy to let it go through the draft. Let's see what direction do Vitality go for this time around.
So the question is, do you want to try and like shut down the top lane once again? Mundo could be still jungle, however.
True. So the thing I thought of was, by locking in Mundo, you dissuade a Kennen top.
Sure.
Which means that you're saying, leader, you have to pick an AP mid, which you haven't done once yet this series. So if you want to pick Renekton, you're forced to play Renekton top and AP mid, or you play Renekton mid and you play an AP top. Either way, we actually have an answer for whatever it is you want to do.
Final option is, of course, the Hylissang flexes into mid. We have seen him solo lane in the last few weeks, but instead, looks like Leader might be going back to his previous favorite. Played it 3 times at the end of the regular season, won every single one of these games. Comfort is the keyword, as you say, Vedi, but LeBlanc has gone through pick and ban here, and looks like Fnatic are eyeing it up. At the moment, hovering the Lulu, but my expectation is they'll want to pick up a mid here.
Let's wait and see. The Twisted Fate, I like it. It's a comfort pick for Nisqy. And I think that your ability to attack... My problem is, like, these aren't the tastiest side lanes that I've ever seen before. Sure, do you really want to gank a Mundo? Do you really want to gank an Ezreal? I mean, the big thing about Twisted Fate is we got to hear a little bit about it from Mac yesterday. The moment he gets that rapid fire cannon, assassins, they just can't teamfight. The range is just so long with the gold cards, you get insta-locked up and the ability to lock you down. What was also cool about the Mad Lions composition yesterday was Ezreal's ult combined with Twisted Fate gives you a surprising amount of damage, right? So it obviously does give Merc Treads a lot of value if you're Vitality, but let's see how this Twisted Fate continues to crack on. As you rightly said, the Mundo could be a flex pick. Yep. Could be sitting in the jungle. The fact that Camille has been banned suggests that Vitality also think that it could be a flex pick as well.
I wonder what they're eyeing up here, because if they think about the possibility of flex, it means they want to pick a top laner here, and perhaps the Camille would be good into whatever top laner they are looking towards.
I think Fnatic goes support here, no? Something like a Leona, get a little bit of engage.
Yeah, my point is Vitality could want to pick their top laner here, and they don't want the Mundo to flex into the jungle and then have Camille as a top laner into whatever they're about to pick. Probably. So perhaps something like, I mean, Renekton is still available for them if they want it, yeah.
Renekton is kind of what I'm thinking of right now. So there's the Braum. Well, it hasn't been locked in yet, sorry, I shouldn't say that. The engage would be, well, the engage now is not great from Fnatic, but maybe they don't care. Because when they, well, I mean, when you're playing against Poke, I like the Jace ban in particular, because then you remove the Varus Jace. I'm just trying to think of what else could be really strong here.
While you think about it.
Alistar to Braum, I don't.
Yeah, Alistar to Braum isn't the best, but it does give you stronger team fight and a strong front line, and it looks like it might still be Kennen here for Vitality. They are going to pick that even if the Mundo gets flexed towards the top lane. So Kennen for top.
They must be convinced that it's not Mundo top. And they're sitting there, and I think they're saying, if you take Mundo top on whatever you take jungle, your team fighting's just going to be weaker than ours.
Yeah.
So they will take that trade, I think, is what they're saying there.
It also makes sense why they pick the Alistar, because it gives them just that bit more tankiness, that bit more frontline for those team fights when they need it. Trundle is locked in finally, and that you expect would go into the jungle with the Mundo into the Kennen in the top lane matchup. Bwipo bringing out the Trundle, I believe, for the first time this year. Usually we see Hylissang as the player that picks up Trundle when it goes on to Fnatic, but here, Bwipo will take it.
So, my concern for Fnatic is their damage. I feel like they don't have a huge amount of it.
I agree with
And I also think that when you are Lee Sin Akali, this front line you don't care about. You have so much mobility and access to the back line that... And when you have like Flash on your Kennen too, imagine, right? You're Ezreal. You're like, oh no, that Kennen's about to flash on top of me. I'm going to E and flash away. And then an Akali and a Lee Sin, and now after that, chasing you down as well. The Braum, I think, will be a huge pick in actually making things easier for the Ezreal, and the Twisted Fate ultimate also gives you a lot of value when playing against an Akali as well. Oof, I think that this Twisted Fate pick in the early game is going to be so big. How much of an opportunity does Nisqy get to be able to roam around the map? Can they actually get upset into the position that he was in last time around? So much on the line. Vitality versus Fnatic. This is the final game. Let's get into it.
One last brawl, one last skirmish, one last battle on the Rift to see who makes it, survives another week, and who dies today and gets themselves a 3-month holiday.
Not only are you eliminated from playoffs with a loss here, but you're eliminated from Worlds. Yep. And like we can't emphasize that enough, because the expectation was that Fnatic would be top 4 at the end of the regular season. And that even if they moved to the lower bracket, they would be the favorites.
Yep.
For many. And now they're in game 5. They have shown that they are fallible. They have shown that they can be beaten. And this composition requires excellence. Twisted Fate, you have to play like... I mean, like, the good thing about it is, yes, you have a strong front-to-back comp. You have a solid front line. You have decent backline damage, but a lot of it falls on the responsibility of the Ezreal. Anyway, I'm not going to talk more about comps. Let's just talk about what actually happens in the game. Fnatic setting up a bit of a play here at level 1.
What are they?
What is the plan? The delayed invade, perhaps? The ward is sitting on top of the red buff.
Okay, so Vitality know this is happening.
Yeah. And you can also see this little ward. Let me see if my little screen is...
It's not.
Oh,
there we are.
So, you can see this ward sitting on the Raptors. This is a really important one as well, because Selfmade, if he wants to go the counter, like cross map,
where are you going to go?
The information will be known now.
Bwipo's here. They're looking for Braum. Does have the flash, will use it early. There's the pulverize as well, but Bwipo can just put down a pillar and Braum can't go anywhere. This is going to be first blood to Fnatic. Nowhere for the cow to go. First blood upsets.
Really well played from the Fnatic squad. Vitality tried to get a fast push in, but they should have anticipated this as a potential option. I guess they assumed that the Trundle would just start full clearing on the bot side, and after the vision gets cleared out, they just have no idea that Bwipo's making his way back immediately. The fast push I don't think is a wrong decision here, but I think the big mistake is not considering the possibility of a Trundle making his way down towards bot as well. This will of course cost a lot of time for Bwipo, with which Selfmade can use to punish Bwipo a lot, but the advantages gained in bot lane is a lot.
Yeah, I think the issue for Vitality's bot lane there is if they don't shove, they then have to respect Bwipo anyway. So if they shove, they can at least make sure Upset and Hylissang lose the entire first wave, which is what happened. But of course, you open yourself up to that risk that you say of Bwipo coming in for the gank. On his first ever competitive Trundle game, he is off to a storming start. Selfmade about to camp up. Leader here low in the mid lane.
Missed the cannon.
Missed the cannon, as you say.
And he's just getting shoved in. That's normally what you expect. Selfmade actually not choosing to do the split map. Instead, choosing to path towards bot. Bwipo going to clear out his full bot side. He doesn't have information on Selfmade yet, but that means that he's going to lose a crab. And now I'm kind of... I wonder if Selfmade expected a delayed invade in bot side of the map. I mean, they did ward for the possibility, right? So clearly they were prepared in some capacity. Instead, they're just going for the gank.
Upset's going to jump away, still has the flash. Bwipo here as well. There's the cleanse coming out from Upset, and now Braum, the target, stunned up with the concussive blow. Still no flash on that Alistar. Selfmade jumping back in. Hylissang dives away with the stand beside me. Braum, the first target, and once again, the pillar of filth is dirty as Fnatic get their second kill.
Vitality, they tried to make a gank happen bot lane, but Bwipo never left the bot lane. He's only cleared bot side camps, and when you engage onto a Braum, if you don't have the moment you engage onto a Braum, there's no escape. You either have to commit to the fight, because the second you try running away, he will chase you down. Fnatic find themselves 2 early kills, and they're off to a fantastic early game. Like, yeah, I understand the idea. You have a level advantage on Crownshot. If you can get a kill here onto Upset, it's so big, especially considering the positioning of the wave. But again, it's this positioning of Bwipo. He's in the vicinity. The pillar is huge, and Braum does not have flash after the gank that happened at level 1.
And the thing about that is you kind of expect Bwipo to have gone to his top side of the map at some point. His red buff was up that entire duration. Perhaps Selfmade thinking, well, Bwipo will play up towards top side, gives him an opportunity to gank, and now Selfmade's going to be too late on this red buff. Bwipo just that one step ahead of Selfmade throughout this entire start of this game. A 800, 900 gold lead for Fnatic right now. And the question is for Vitality, where are your eggs? Where can you find an advantage here? Top lane seems to be the focus. There's the TP coming in from leader, counter TP being used. Flash away from the Sonic Wave, and Adam will survive.
Okay, so Adam able to get away from that. Will cost him his flash. Selfmade losing more time, actually. Bwipo has his eyes set on another gank bot lane.
Man, he could set up a tent. That's how much he's been camping this lane. TP coming in from Vitality. That's Szygenda going to join the fray. But just trying to force Bwipo and Hylissang away. They seem to be tied at the hip with this support and jungler working together so well in the early game.
Just heavy investment towards the bot side of the map. We expected this coming out from Fnatic. Not quite as early as it ended up happening, but it really is paying off for Bwipo. And look, now his bot camps are back up. Bwipo is actually getting the better of Selfmade in these early camps. The fact that Selfmade passed towards bot, the fact that he wasn't able to steal away Bwipo's red, the fact that he lost, well, he didn't lose his bot side camps, but then he makes that gank happen and his bot lane ends up falling short. And then he attempts to steal red buff and then it's not there. Just Selfmade at every turn is finding fewer and fewer options, and Bwipo now finds himself at level 5 and could even look to start this Drake if he wanted to.
And because Adam was able to survive that top lane fight as well, he's caught up in CS. The one advantage that Vitality had on the map has now been nullified. Braum level 3 as he clears out this control ward. Bwipo's going to take the first dragon of the game. It's a cloud for him. And the question is for Vitality, how you work your way back from this, because Crownshot used the cleanse early here. Exhaust into concussive blows would be enough. The Mystic Shot procs the concussive blows, but it isn't enough damage to kill off Crownshot.
Exhaust for both summoners on Crownshot. And the 2 versus 2, Upset and Hylissang have pretty consistently come out on top regardless of the matchup, and perhaps maybe outside of game 1,
yeah,
maybe. But yeah, it really has been a dominant showing, and it seems that with the assistance of Bwipo, they continue to dominate. Fnatic, they already feel like they're in just such a strong spot. Now, Nisqy is level 6 as well. Let's see where he can be active on the map. This 2v2 continues to snowball in favor of Fnatic as they find more CS leads, consistently find good trades. Adam also has the TP available.
It's like such a nuisance as well. It's so good at just making sure the enemy doesn't have a moment to breathe. We saw it, especially in game 3, and when Fnatic were able to find advantages through his Alistar play, and now he continues to do it on this Braum, getting about a 10-15 CS lead overall through upset as the wave pushes in. Hylissang looking to work his way up towards this mid lane, perhaps. Selfmade's going to get the third Scuttle Crab of the game. Should be able to secure that one for himself. Gets the upgrade on his Smite as well. Bwipo one Smite behind him. And now it's Vitality to make the first move from the mid lane. Not really surprising with the Slicing Maelstrom coming out. They're looking to focus down Adam. And Adam, he was ignited at the start of that, I believe. Wasn't able to heal up. The unsealed spellbook from Szygenda paying off.
Selfmade is the one to pick up the kill once again. Szygenda did a lot of the work there.
All of the work.
Doesn't quite reap the benefits.
But it is good for Vitality that they found a point of weakness on the Fnatic lineup. The question is whether or not they can exploit that enough, because right now you can see Bwipo and Nisqy just start to shadow down towards the bottom lane. Upset gets a free plate. Respect from Crownshot on the Braum, but you kind of have to give this respect, right?
Like, you're gonna get dived. Nisqy has, like, if you stay at that tower, you just die.
Yep.
You make a worse situation far, far, far worse.
But you get the moral victory of, you know, trying to defend your turrets.
Oh, you don't. Because it's one of those situations where, okay, so here are your two choices. You can either, one, die and lose the wave, or you could, two, lose the wave.
I stopped listening after 1.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. 100% you want to give up that space because you know a coordinated dive coming out from Fnatic will cost you your life, and that's exactly what Fnatic are looking to take. LeBron down to 100 HP, manages to flash away. The Winter's Bite won't be needed as Nisqy takes the kill. Crownshot trying to clear out the way, but Bwipo can tank for days. 2 tower shots, 3 tower shots, not enough to kill him off. It's a double for Nisqy.
So remember when we said option 1 and option 2?
You can do them both.
Turns out there was an option 3, which is, hey, you can lose the wave, and then when you try and come back, we're still going to kill you, and you're still going to lose another wave.
Yep.
Yeah, that really, really, really sucks to the Vitality bot lane. But it also kind of has been the story of this series. Vitality have played so much around the top side, and looks like that is not going to change. Adam TP's into mid to assist a little bit, but that Herald is still going to do damage. 4 plates will go into the back pocket of Vitality, but you can already see it. They are at a 4k gold deficit. This Twisted Fate, 2k gold deficit. Thank you, Medic. Nisqy is 2-0-0 on this Twisted Fate. Can we have a quick look at the gold? Because Twisted Fate passive, plus the 2 kills that he has, yeah. 700
gold ahead.
700 gold ahead.
Meanwhile, Upset is 1,300 gold ahead on this Ezreal. And we saw in Game 3 how strong he can be when he gets a little bit of gold in his back pocket. The question really is for Vitality whether or not they can find a couple of skirmishes, find a way to get on towards that back line, because right now they are very much in the hole to the tune of 1.8 thousand gold. And even their advantage, Szygenda, you know, he's 400 gold up. It's not a monumental lead for that Kennen into the Mundo. I have to see if Fnatic can hold on to this one, because so far this series, games have gone very much the way you would expect them to after the first 15 minutes. The team that's in the lead at 15 minutes has gone on to win the rest of the game. And that is kind of true of both these teams in the regular season as well.
And even in last game, Vitality, even though it felt like they were losing a lot of control over the map, they were still actually sitting in the gold
about
lead.
1,000 gold ahead,
About 1,000 gold ahead for the majority of the early game. So it's, yeah, it's one of those things where the early game really has just decided so much in this series, and it's like it's come to expect it. The truth is that, like, when we look at the macro of these teams, it's not the same as what we've been seeing from Mad and Rogue, our top teams in Europe. But they're definitely way more willing to scrap. They're way more willing to skirmish. And you really do get to see a lot of skill expression from both these teams. And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now for Vitality. Leader often finds himself behind. I mean, right now he's even on his Akali, but he loses Prio. It happens every time he's played it. The 3 games in his final weekend, remember they went 3-0. He's a monster when he actually gets the team fight. There's a reason why people know him for his assassins, and there's a reason why he's picked at this game. Is it the best pick? in this situation, I mean, you can probably debate like for days, and I'm not going to have that debate right now. What I can say is that is it one of Leader's best champions? Yeah. And I think that one thing, I think that if I was in his position, I would want to be at my best in the final game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially when there's so much on the line as well.
Exactly.
Like, comfort is king in this sort of situation. It's,
yeah, screw the draft. Screw what's actually like what's best. Just pick what you think you can perform the best
100%.
on. And like, yeah, I think that you can then, you know, if you weren't able to perform, at least then like, you know, you can feel proud of your performance.
You have to remember as well, like, it's his first best of 5 in the LEC. Yes, he's played EU Masters before and regional leagues, etc. before, but for him, it's his first best of 5. I believe for Braum as well. It's his first best of 5 in the LEC. Szygenda as well, as you say.
Not Crownshot and Selfmade.
No. Two of them, quite a lot of experience. Selfmade jumps onto Bwipo here, pops down the Subjugate, kick away. There's TP coming in as well. And you can see Twisted Fate with the Destiny goes onto the other side of the wall. Szygenda looking for the Slicing Maelstrom, but will not find a target. Red buff was secured. I'm not quite sure by whom. I think Crownshot may have got. Oh no, Selfmade's got it. I just didn't see it circling. It's because the Rift is cheating me. If he walks over the Infernal bit of the red buff, you can't see the red buff. You can't see it, Vedi.
It's okay. You're just supposed to yell at stuff.
I do that. It's true.
It's all good. Anyway, I think what was impressive about that fight was Leader got 2 flashes out by himself. He forced a flash out from Bwipo, and then the moment Hylissang arrived, he was like, yeah, no, you're flashing too. And he basically dropped his whole combo down and was like, you have to disengage, run away. And he hasn't even got his first item yet, so Fnatic still showcasing that respect to this young player. 3k is near enough the gold lead for Fnatic though. Nisqy doesn't have his ultimate, he used it in the last skirmish. Dragon not going to be spawning for a while. And right now I think the priority for both teams is trying to get as many plates as humanly possible. Unlikely that Vitality will find any big places to be able to gain those. You're really looking at this bot lane right now for Fnatic, seeing if they're going to get anything, but with Trundle on the top side it doesn't look likely.
Wow. Upset in a very strong position though with the Divine Sundra already complete. You can see Crownshot building up towards that lethality build here as well. Serrated Dirk, Hail of Blades build can do a lot of damage as the game goes on, but for the moment he is definitely in the hole when you compare him to Upset on this Ezreal.
For the record, I don't think anyone kills Mundo.
You think he goes where he pleases?
I think he will go where he pleases, but also I think that when you look at how this game is played,
doesn't
Vitality's comp, his whole purpose is to ignore the Mundo completely.
Yeah.
And I think that can Fnatic deal with Leader and Selfmade before they deal with Upset? It's kind of how I think this game is going to be played. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to be decided much earlier than that. Like Fnatic's going to get a bunch of picks. They're going to snowball this gold lead. Like I could also see the game turning that way. But if it's like close and it comes down to fights, I really think that it's going to come down to the individuals. How you actually play those fights is going to be so big. This Akali is such a massive variable when it comes to the actual team fights. All this to look forward to. Right now, the cross map is happening. I'm going to bring up the mini-map because stuff like this I think is always cool to see because you never see it in solo queue. It is a full split.
Ready.
Oh, hang on.
No, you're good. You're good.
Am I good? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see all this vision invested bot side for Fnatic, all this top vision top side. They're investing towards the bot tower because they know they're ahead in tempo, but the pings are coming out and it looks like the Vitality is looking to try and make the same trade happen with their Rift Herald. But basically the map is split right down the middle where Fnatic control the bot side and then Vitality control the top side. And this is what you would consider a classic split map. And obviously the weak side of the map you have to be careful because you have a numbers system.
Weak side of the map, of course, where you are the solitary player versus a couple of players on the other side. Importantly for Fnatic, because they've done so much chip damage to the tier 1 already, they actually spent some time getting that tier 2. There's a Slicing Maelstrom coming out. Nisqy just at the edge of range. The Everfrost with the root as well. The Pillar of Death being used. Leader comes in with the TP, but Szygenda is already dead before he arrives. And Fnatic find a kill. Szygenda not safe enough on the weak side of the map.
Really good use of the Twisted Fate ultimate there. Szygenda tries to burn the heal to create as much distance as possible, even throws out the ultimate to buy himself a little bit more time, but the spacing there from Fnatic was flawless. Have a look at this one. So the ultimate's going to come through. Once Szygenda uses his E, they now know that this is on cooldown. Actually, there's quite a bit of time here. So the heal will come through, and the stun into Everfrost, and look how they just dance on the outside. He's perma-CC'd throughout the entire duration. The TP from Leader unfortunately doesn't come in quick enough. And if they'd been able to CC some people, there's a world where Vitality can maybe turn that one around, but that's another kill into the back pocket of Fnatic, and that extends their gold lead to about 3.3k.
Yeah, in a really strong position with 26 seconds on the next Drake as well. An Infernal Soul to back up this Ezreal's DPS will help him output a ton of damage when fights come around. It's a very early Soul as well, already a Cloud and Notion in Fnatic's back pocket. So if they can get this Dragon basically on spawn, we'll be looking at, 26, 27 minutes or so. Szygenda stepping forward once again, has Flash Cleanse now off the Unsealed Spellbook.
Observers, if you could quickly click on Kennen, I want to see how long his cooldown on his ultimate is.
23.
20 seconds. Okay, well, with the Drake up, that's going to be really crucial. Adam now TPing into the fray. Look at the positioning of Leader sitting on the flank. He wants access onto Upset. He will be crucial in the outcome of this fight.
Could be the fight that decides the series. Fnatic still looking for that world spot. Vitality doing the same. Szygenda slicing Maelstrom still about 4 seconds away. 3, 2, 1. Flash available. Slicing Maelstrom now up. Leader getting forced down towards the bottom side. Lebrov low. 500 HP on that Alistar, on that frontline tank. Mystic shots going wide as Vitality continue to step forward. Nisqy now stepping behind that front line of Adam, of Hylissang, of Bwipo. They're the tanks on the front. Upset and Nisqy stepping in. Vitality still trying to prod, trying to find their way into this fight. Szygenda slowed up with Winter's Bite, and it looks like Vitality will just go for the mid lane prio, and they will give up this Infernal Drake. Crownshot down to 3/4 HP. Lebrov down to half, and Vitality down and out of this fight.
Fnatic just win the poke fight with the Ezreal, with the Twisted Fate, and with the briefcases coming out as well. Vitality just get too chipped too quickly. Lebrov forced to use his ultimate way too early into the fight, and that means that without him, there's no reliable engage to come through from Vitality. Szygenda couldn't quite find the flank, which means that Fnatic now secure themselves the third Drake of the game. Good patience, good control. Don't give Leader the access into the fight. And for now, Fnatic are in the better position to close out this series, keep their world run alive, and also still be in contention to fight for the LEC title.
I have seen strange things happen over the course of these playoffs already, and Vitality coming back from this would not be the biggest shock we have had. They are only 4,500 gold behind, but it feels like a mountain to climb now because of that poke damage that you were talking about, Vedius. Manamune stacked up, Divine Sundra already complete on Upset. Nisqy almost has his rapid fire cannon as well.
What's crazy to me is it's hard, as someone that has followed Europe for so long, to believe that Fnatic won't be in contention for Worlds. And in their position, you look at it and you feel like, how does Fnatic lose this game from this position? How do they even consider losing this series? But that tension in the air, Fnatic feels it. These players, it feels to me like that they're holding the weight of the organization on their shoulders. You mentioned it earlier. This could be Fnatic's worst ever year.
Yep.
5th in spring, losing here would put them at 6th in summer. The organization that is known for winning, that has had one of the longest standing rivalries of G2 versus Fnatic, one of the consistent world representatives, could be knocked out in the first round of playoffs. And again, their position looks great, but that feeling of dread, that feeling of tension exists because Vitality, that hunger has not gone. You can see it. They're constantly looking for those plays. They have the tools to swing this game at a moment's notice.
And you know it's Fnatic. One misstep is all it will take. Vitality there, ready to strike. If Upset oversteps a little bit, gets caught out, doesn't cleanse, doesn't manage to flash away, that's a lot of Fnatic's damage down. Of course, Bwipo with the Divine Sundra can add a little bit of his own, but Vitality as a 4-man group are looking for a catch. Perhaps Adam is the target. Chain of Corruption, that's spell immune. That's a Varus ultimate out, but Adam is down to half HP.
Well, here's the Mundo. That regeneration will start to come through soon. Does have the flash, no TP on either side though. Leaders is about to come up, so the side waves have been abandoned. A lot of control over the mid wave. Top pushing in favor of Fnatic for the time being. But Fnatic have their eyes. Ooh, that's the ultimate.
Unbreakable. Everforce was used as well though. Szygenda looking for a flank position, is on a control ward. Adam chipped out once again, and I'm loving this. Screw side lanes, 5v5. Boxing match in the mid lane. A pugilist's delight here between Vitality and Fnatic. That mid lane tier 1 are going to fall very quickly here. Rocket Belt's used to clear out the way. Vitality, 3 men strong defend.
They actually keep that alive. Double Rocket Belt coming in clutch there for Vitality. But I thought that once they got Lebrov's ultimate, that Fnatic would be able to secure that tower at long last. But Vitality hold on, and that's the tension that I'm talking about. You can see it. Fnatic don't want to overstep. Vitality feels like that they're waiting for their moment to strike. They know that they're at the deficit. They know that they have waves that they need to catch, and they know that a soul is on the horizon. So they're not jumping the gun. And this is probably the most patient we've seen these two teams all split long. 6 kills, 21.5 minutes. The games have often been decided by this point, Medic. Baron has been locked in. The teams are looking to end the game, not this one. This game has too much weight behind it. This game matters too much for both teams. They both want a shot at Worlds. They both want to stay in playoffs. The winner will go on to play Misfits. There's still a long road for both these teams, but it's been a hard-fought series. Neither one wants to give it up just yet. We can see once again a lot of grouping around the mid, bot side Drake. It spawns in a minute's time. This will be the objective. Fnatic, sole point.
So far, we've gone over a kill a minute this game. 6 in 22. LeBron goes in. True Shot Barrage does a lot. Szygenda flashing forward with the True Shot, with the slicing Maelstrom as well, but it's just not going to be enough damage. Leader trying to do what he can, but Szygenda pops the stopwatch, only to get popped immediately afterwards, and now with the Destiny, Fnatic could look for the chase. It times out. Crownshot caught with a briefcase. He will jump away, but look at the Mystic Shot. Nisqy flashes forward with the stun code. LeBron takes it. Adam underneath the tower. Maximum dosage will keep him alive, but there's 30 seconds on the Infernal Soul. And unless Vitality can find a steal, that's going to Fnatic.
And you can feel the relief washing over Fnatic. They're able to find such a big fight. They're able to stop Leader getting onto the backline. That choke point ended up working out beautifully for them just because of the Trundle pillar. The follow-up was so difficult for Vitality, which means that Fnatic found themselves a kill, and they're likely going to get themselves the Infernal Soul.
Infernal with an Ezreal does so much damn work. Fnatic will secure it 23 minutes in. One more kill was all it took. They got Vitality in that choke point. And now they are just moments away from securing that next playoff series against Misfits. With the TP coming in, Leader immediately has to flash away. That TP was unideal indeed. LeBron once again caught out. Look at him, he's only 300 HP. No ult, as you say, dodges the briefcase, but Bwipo and Hylissang are pushing forward, and Fnatic still want this fight. Szygenda has a flank, no slicing Maelstrom. Probably about 15 seconds or so before that one comes back up. Selfmade has the flash kick. If he can find Upset, but Upset's going to reset. Fnatic are going to reset. They will walk back to their fountain, and they will recoup their gold.
So let's have a look back at this fight. So what's really crucial here is the pillar from Bwipo, and look how Szygenda's forced to use his E so early on. And while the engage initially looks good for Vitality, immediate stopwatch, the ultimate from Szygenda gets forced out. Fnatic is in a very safe position, and then they can just play that front to back. They can rely on their front line as they keep their backline DPS safe, and Vitality just gets picked off one at a time. Very well played there from Fnatic, finding a really good window, securing themselves the Soul, and now the pressure really starts to mount for Vitality. That goal gap is not getting any smaller. They don't have a Soul, so that's so much more damage that they have to play around, and Fnatic is setting up for the Baron.
They can do it pretty quickly as well. They're going to start it up. Upset Nisqy and Bwipo. All three there, starting it now. Hylissang going in, there's the Destiny as well. They're looking to catch out LeBron, who has the Unbreakable Will, pops onto the blue buff. Leader dodging away, there's the stun, there's the True Shot Barrage. Hylissang caught with the Chain of Corruption, Bwipo low off towards the top side. Leader trying to dive onto him, Hylissang keeping Selfmade busy. Adam now steps forward as that front line. Leader dives in, but immediately is stunned. The Everfrost goes out as well, and Leader has nowhere to go. Upset goes on a rampage as Adam tanks up 4 members of Vitality, and you just can't kill off this Mundo. He's going to chase them down. Fnatic find 2 more kills, and that's enough to take the Baron.
The Braum does what it needs to do. The exhaust doesn't even have to come out, but the locket is good. The CC is good. The disengage from Fnatic is good enough that they're able to stay away from Leader's Akali. They will find themselves 2 kills. They will secure themselves the Baron, and Fnatic is looking to make their way forward in the LEC playoffs.
Oh, it's been a slow affair. It's been arduous here for Fnatic, but they found the fights that mattered most to them. Once again, it's LeBron who is stepping forward. He's the only tank, really, for Vitality. He's the one that immediately gets locked up by Nisqy.
And it looks scary when Bwipo starts taking all that damage. Uses his ultimate on Szygenda to get a little bit of HP back. Hylissang disengaging 3 members on the left-hand side. Then look at this locket. It gives so much shielding. Leader finds himself in the middle of 5 Fnatic members, and then Adam can go on the re-engage. Remember what we talked about at the beginning of the game. Feels like that there is no one on the side of Vitality that can deal or kill Adam, and so he just walks and goes where he pleases.
Moments before The next fight you have to feel here. Fnatic in such command. 7,000 gold ahead. The Destiny comes out once again. Oh, is he going to stun him across the wall? Nisqy was looking for it. He was feeling it. Red card comes out. Lebrov loses half his HP. And now the tier 2, the target. Adam down in the bottom lane has the TP to join up with Fnatic. And Fnatic, forward as they can, are now pushing Vitality back into their base. Sonic Wave hits from Selfmade, but they just can't find the angle. They just can't find the avenue of approach here to take down Fnatic. Adam still alone by himself on the bottom side. Stun goes out. Oh no, Szygenda's down. And now Fnatic, 4 players strong in the mid lane, can continue to push in. It just feels all but done for. Vitality keep looking for these avenues, but they just can't find a way to get in, VIT. And Fnatic will stop them in their tracks once again. It looked close, it looked like Vitality had a chance, but Fnatic has slammed the door in their face over and over and over and over. And not at the first hurdle will Fnatic fall. They are looking to set up a date with Misfits, set up a chance at Worlds once again. They've only missed it once. They will not be stopped by Vitality. The flash kick comes out, but Selfmade just can't do anything. Leader on the back line still can't get the damage down. Nisqy pops a stopwatch, and Leader goes pop immediately afterwards. Has a stopwatch of his own, but Upset doesn't mind waiting around. Szygenda diving in with a slicing maelstrom cannot do anything. And Fnatic will clean it up in the base. It took them 5 games, but Fnatic will fight Misfits next week.
A hard-fought series for both teams, but it will be Fnatic that come out on top. Sighs of relief on the faces of Fnatic. Big smile for Bwipo. It's been a difficult situation for Fnatic. Having to play from home, Adam being separated from the team.
Oh, definitely.
And you can only imagine that this has really impacted their performance this week, but they were able to pull through it. They were able to come out on top. A lot of respect needs to be given to Vitality. They showcased that they can go toe-to-toe with the improvements that they made in the 2 weeks that they had leading up to this. Really benefited them, and they pushed Fnatic hard. The top 6 in Europe going back and forth, and now the challenge only gets harder for Fnatic as they go up against Misfits in next week's matches.
Yeah, they have another week, of course, to prepare for Misfits, but looking at the course of this weekend, it feels like Misfits are going to be a big challenge for Fnatic. You can see their Vitality, of course, dismayed at the loss. Selfmade with a bit of a smile on his face, a bit of a smirk. He's been here before, but Leader and Lebrov and Szygenda losing out in their first best of 5.
You also have to remember that the position they're in, a lot of young players, brand new team, building synergy together.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the fact that they were even able to qualify for playoffs is still a big achievement. The fact that they pushed Fnatic to 5 games is an even bigger one. So huge props to Vitality, a very solid split overall. And let's hope that they stick together and we get to see more growth from this roster next year.
Can't wait to see them in 2022. Your Kia Player of the Game votes at LEC on Twitter. Player of the Series, in fact, not the game. Bwipo, Nisqy, and Upset are your options. We did talk a lot about Bwipo because the battle between him and Selfmade was such a key focus point for this series.
I think, so the hidden MVP is probably Hylissang this series.
He had his game 3 was great. His Braum was pretty good.
I just think that he did a lot that in a live game was probably harder to see.
Sure.
But I think that in review, he's actually done a lot. So big shout out to Hylissang, but for sure.
You can reply tweet Hylissang.
Yeah.
Justice for support.
Yeah.
I'm never going to disagree with you when you say support's better than everyone else. We'll soon hear from Nisqy before Upset joins us in the LEC post-game lobby. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the LEC. The journey stops here for Vitality as Fnatic will advance to round 2 and face off against Misfits next week. Nisqy, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on defeating Vitality today. I want to talk about the draft from the last game at first, if we can just see it, because I feel like the pick you chose, the Twisted Fate, was actually well thought. So I want to know, why did you go for this pick and why did you think it fits so well here with the composition you had?
I mean, basically, it was really good in our comp because, first of all, like they blind picked Akali with no TF ban, and I think it's pretty good when you have poke on your team. So we had Ezreal as well, and then we had like Mundo Qs, and on top of that, we had like some slows, some like Trundle pillar, stuff like that. So it was pretty hard for them to play. And yeah, I think this game showed at least for me that we can play a pretty good TF as a team.
Yeah, and I mean, that's also something we saw throughout the season. You were the first player, actually, in summer in the LEC to pick Twisted Fate. We didn't see the champion at all, actually, in playoffs since the round 1 started. You were the first one again to pick it. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see more of Twisted Fate, and how important is it in the meta right now?
I think it just depends on how you want to play as a team, because I feel like when you pick TF, the game literally changes because you have a global mid that's not necessarily too strong in lane, and then it has some spikes and you need to like abuse them.
All right.
And yeah, I think, for example, Mad, when they pick it, they have a pretty good idea on how to play it as well. I'm pretty sure like G2 and Rogue will pick it up as well, because once you see a champion do well, you usually pick it up. So yeah, I think we'll see it way more in Europe for sure.
Yeah, it's been successful so far here in playoffs. Now more about the series. It went to 5 games, but it was very fast game every time, very one-sided. Why do you explain the pace of the series and why it went this way?
I mean, I'd say like their drafts, to be honest, were very like explosive. I felt like every time they had like Diana with AD mid, usually if she's behind or if she's ahead, the game goes really fast. And with their mid champ pool, like they played Yasuo, I think twice.
Yeah.
So if you're behind on Yasuo, it's a pretty tough game, and if you're ahead, then great. Like the game goes by pretty fast, right? So yeah, I think they just went really aggressive mode and kind of thought that they could win through that.
Yeah, and well, it didn't go well for them in the end. But luckily for you, you will advance to the next round. And I feel like it's been maybe a difficult week with Adam being sick. You guys playing at home in the end. Talk me through the training, how you guys played together and adapted to the fact that Adam had to stay home.
I mean, for sure, like it was rough, I'd say, because it's not like the same dynamic, because Adam is not like with us. So like reviews and I don't know, usually like eat together in the morning, stuff like that. So everything kind of changed and shifted, but I feel like we did a good job of adapting it. And I think one thing that's really important is that we kept our mental like really good, I'd say. I feel like we have all done like really good job of just keep being focused and keep like improving, even though it's like shit conditions. So yeah, I think that's why we came on top today as well, because we just didn't give up.
And now you will face the rest of the, I want to call it the lower bracket of death, with Misfits first and then G2 on the second round. How do you see things developing for you?
I think against Misfits, I feel like if we play clean, to be honest, I think it should be not easy, I'd say, because they won 5 games against Rogue, but I think we are the better team, in my opinion, if we play our game. And then I hope we make G2 and we play for that last world spot.
Do you feel like we saw more from Misfits or G2 so far?
It's hard to say, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I think both teams are pretty good, to be honest. But I think G2 is still, in my opinion, the better team.
All right, well, we'll see about that next week. Last question for you, Nisqy. I know that backstage we were talking about the fact that for Fnatic, with the greatness of the team, going to Worlds is the bare minimum. How do you feel after this series?
I mean, for me, or even for the team, we know that we want to go to Worlds. It's just how we are. Like, we are good players. We all think we deserve to go to Worlds, and we just have to make it happen, right? Like, if we're good enough, then we'll go. If we're not, then it sucks, but that's life. But I agree that Fnatic in the past has always been going to Worlds, and for me, it's important that we go there as well, because myself, I haven't been to Worlds for 2 years as well right now. So I feel like going back there will be for sure fun.
Well, we'll see about that in the weeks to come, as you will have a lot of best-of-5 series to play before qualifying. But for now, Nisqy, thank you so much for the interview, and good luck in the rest of playoffs.
Thank you.
And that's all for us in round one. We're gonna take a short break now, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with Upset, joined by Shocks, Pedro, and Treats for the post-game lobby. See you soon.